I'm Jeff Stedman, Chief Marketing Officer for SDBI, and I want to thank you for watching this video as we speak with customers about their journey to the cloud. As you know, the cloud is completely transforming almost every industry, but perhaps no more so than in the media and entertainment business. And while many media companies have successfully embraced the move to the cloud for much of their media supply chains, there are still many who have yet to begin that journey. I thought that it would be helpful to hear from some of those who have made this journey and have migrated to the cloud to see what insights they can provide. Now, if you're still considering whether the cloud is right for your workflows, the insights from these 7 industry leaders are definitely going to help you. Now, today we're going to hear from Rob Goldheim from Discovery, Hardis Egam from Viacom CBS, Kushal Chokshi from Disney, John Honeycutt from Sandy Valley Media, Peter Gibson from Comcast Technology Solutions, Darren Long from Sky UK, and Terry Davies from Anuvu. Let's hear from our panelists. So today, I'd like to know, what can you do now that you couldn't do before moving to the cloud? In other words, are there any unexpected benefits that you've realized?
One of the things we've done is we're bringing our content from our production partners into our content supply chain at the start. And what that does is it allows us to understand exactly what we're getting, the media, the metadata, and knowing what you have is a major part of the content supply chain. So we get the metadata in, and even if it's not correct, where we find a flaw or it's missing something, we then send the media in for analysis and can extract even more metadata. And that's really important. So if you know what you have and you know where you need to get to when you have your linear outputs and distribution, or your nonlinear, your digital outputs and distribution, then you just make the connections through automation and through transcoding and through all of these pieces and parts that give you your end-to-end content supply chain. And I think really that's the goal that we're all trying to get to.
One thing we're able to do now is that we're able to rationalize combining many disparate media supply chains in various parts of both the domestic and international solution sets into one common global media supply chain. And it allows both from ingest to QC to distribution of that content to really provide the solutions we need globally. And that was something traditionally we weren't able to do. We were more in country working out of data centers in the country.
There are a couple of things. One of that major one was the reducing that entire project. Whenever we used to get requests on on-prem workflows that deploy this workflow, it was basically a project. Now it became a task and it fits into the sprint cycle instead of working on a project planning and all stuff. And on top of that, we start leveraging the cloud-based, meter-based media processing tool sets, which we used to require to purchase the license, deploy on-prem, all those instances. So it was, again, was a project. Now it's just a matter of configuration to leverage new media processing tool sets.
I think, simply put, we can scale quicker. Where we have been maybe constrained with on-prem infrastructure in consideration for how we scale to our customers. Now within the cloud, we can look at leveraging cloud burst and cloud scale for where we have to process content libraries quickly and on demand. We can find that balance between our on-prem infrastructure and how we burst into the cloud. So really it has been a scale performance, and we can do it quicker. And then I think the other area too where we've seen a benefit is just being, from a project standpoint, we can move quicker, right? So now we look at our supply chain, how we leverage applications. We don't need to build to every specific integration within that application. We can leverage some of those existing integrations, and we get to focus then on our managed service to our customers and how our extensive distribution footprint can be our focus versus the extensive duration of the project itself. So I think we've seen, cross scale of the platform in the cloud, and then just more efficient, I think, in terms of our overall project timeline.
Well, I think we're able to operate truly global platforms now. What a lot of people don't know is back around 2003, 2004, 2005 at Discovery, we attempted to harmonize our platforms around the world. Things like automation systems, asset management, even some content planning and scheduling systems. we had some success, but in no way did we have the visibility into what was occurring within the operations around the world that we intended to do. And I think that's only really truly possible with cloud. And never mind sharing content across operations and regions. That was, still in the days of shipping drives and LTO tapes and all of those things. The cloud has really brought us to a point where running at scale on a global basis is something we don't even think twice about anymore.
Before moving to the cloud, we were unable to scale. Many of our processes and workflows were manual. I remember winning a big account and having to tell the client that we needed 6 months to onboard them because we had such a heavy CapEx dependency and long lead time for procurement and installation of equipment, not to mention hiring and training the teams. The old approach also meant that we always had to build to peak capacity since we were unable to flex on demand. Now that we're in the cloud, we're able to scale rapidly and efficiently. And this also means that we can provide improved customer service as we're much more nimble and flexible. And consequently, we've been able to introduce new business models that wouldn't have been possible before.
I think the key thing, Jeff, is what you can't do now that you couldn't do before. So I think if you look at where we are from an organization point of view, it's all about how quickly we can take content in, how quickly we can distribute it across our group. And don't forget, the group is pretty large now. So the importance of what it was before was it was very hard coded. Everything was completely hard coded. Workflows were hard coded. Distribution, acquisition were hard-coded. So I think the answer to you is the variety of ways we can actually produce that content and actually spin up new services incredibly quickly now, whereas before that would have taken, years sometimes to develop that. And I think as we move forward, that's where we're really going to get some benefits, and certainly on the distribution across the organization and then to our customers, that's where we really see a massive benefit.
It's always great to hear about the benefits, especially some of the unexpected benefits that people have realized as they move their supply chains to the cloud. Lots of great, insightful results. Let's turn now to our second question. What advice or tips can you share with people who are just starting this journey?
Well, the simple advice is don't think about it, start working on it, because you don't want to be left behind. I think if we all start taking this journey, it's going to be an easier journey for us in the long run. It's difficult to start with, and we all know that, but there'll be advantages that I've already gone through. I think the key thing to remember is don't try and bite the whole of the apple. I think you've got to take it in slices and really think your workflows through and actually try and look at it by section, and don't look at it as a big mountain you've got to climb. Try and break it up into smaller chunks, and I think you'll get there a lot quicker. And also, as you're going through that process, you'll realize you need to alter some of those things. But I think, again, the microservices allows you to do that. So really look at what you want to do and how you want to achieve it. Don't be frightened to jump, and fundamentally don't try and burn the earth too quickly, and focus on breaking it into small chunks and then delivering it as really agile development.
You don't look back on your legacy business. You just literally have to re-envision where you're going and solve that problem first, and then look at your legacy and map your legacy into your new vision, because you can't take your traditional thinking and just lift and shift it into the cloud. One, it doesn't fit economically, and two, it just doesn't fit as far as a solution in the cloud. So that's my advice there.
One thing, based on our experience, one thing I would recommend, come with a software-defined mentality and put your existing broadcast and media workflows mentality, because now migrating to the cloud is basically your software-driven workflows and not anymore your watch folder-based workflows.
Yeah, excellent. We've heard that before. Don't do a lift and shift.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you certainly want to start with understanding your existing costs and how that's going to drive your behavior into what is the functionality and what is the feature that you're looking to get out of moving to the cloud. Is it scale? Because you have maybe fixed infrastructure restrictions. Is it additional agility into incorporating additional workflows for the initiatives that you have? Or is it just purely cost considerations? And as such, then, how are you getting some of the benefit of moving to the cloud, and what's the particular areas that you're looking for those efficiencies. So I think as we've gone along, we've certainly, like I mentioned before, realized many benefits across the team. And then, additionally to, once you get, like anything, once you get into it, you start to, smaller tangential observations that you can make and things you can improve on. But we certainly approached it from looking at our costs and the benefits of what we were going to get by moving to the cloud. We likewise, as a large, managed service provider, are looking how we balance our on-prem infrastructure and our cloud infrastructure. So all those elements came into consideration.
It's more of a business transition than it is a technical transition. This is all about understanding how your business functions and how you can take advantage of these types of capabilities. It's about data, it's about workflow, it's about your ability to understand what are norms and what are exceptions, and then managing that dichotomy and using the technology to do it. You can be very efficient and very fast, but if your workflows are all over the place and don't have a lot of consistency to them, which is what some businesses are, and that's fine, but you need to adapt to take advantage of it.
You're right. It's a business transformation, not just an technology implementation.
Yeah. It's really about understanding how your business can take advantage. And if you don't understand your business and you don't understand the inputs and you don't understand your publishing needs and the potential volatility in your publishing needs, right? Managing for volatility in the media business is so important today. That's really what it's all about, is how you can get to market faster, get to market more efficiently with a high quality product. And having a strategy and a plan to do that is frankly more of a business strategy than a technology strategy. I'd like to think that with as many smart people we have in our industry, there's not a lot of problems that we can't figure out technically. Right? What it doesn't need to be is a fire drill every time we have to. A little bit of planning, and a little bit of analytics on how your business functions is probably as big of an accelerant to a cloud transition as a burning tech platform.
Jump in, make sure you understand your content. And if you don't understand the content that you're using, that you're starting with, really shore that side up. Because like I said, if you know what you're starting with, it's key to making anything downstream. And so try and understand what you have. And if you can, try and make it all the same so that your automations are a lot more smooth and a lot less failures. And you can really track the metadata throughout. That's also going to be the key, is making sure any manipulation of the content, that the metadata that's associated with that manipulation gets reported back into this content supply chain.
Interesting. It sounds like from your perspective, the best place to start the journey is as far upstream as you can when you're first receiving that content.
100%. If you could start, the further upstream you can start, even with your content providers and your partners there, that would be even better. And then you'll just be able to, shove more content through the system.
The interesting point here about obstacles that need to be overcome in the next iteration of moving to the cloud is when people say cloud, they think of technology, of course. But the real heavy lift in any transformation, including cloud migration, is increasingly not the technology itself, but the change management around the people in the process. Attention to the human change management process is fundamental to the success of moving to the cloud or any transformation. A major obstacle is resistance to change, which shouldn't be underestimated, and as much, if not more energy, must be devoted to helping bring an organization along and getting buy-in to smooth the speed of adoption.
Wow, some great insights from all of our guests. And I'd like to thank all of them for their time and contributions. I hope that this has given you some useful information and even some inspiration as you consider your own cloud journey for your media supply chains. If you'd like more information, please visit our website at sdbi.com. Thanks for watching.